Who's got even more books to show you? Me. Hello there, fellow viewer, my name is Gabriel, and welcome to the second part of my big first 2 years of uni book haul thing. So if you've watched the previous video, then you already know the way that I have decided to separate these videos in. If you haven't watched the video, then it's linked right down below or somewhere on your screen right now. And the books that I will be showing you today will be the books that have been gathering dust at my mom's house while I was away in South Korea. These are all of the books that I bought during my first year of university. This is the very first time where I found myself with next day delivery free shipping. I know that the environment is giving me the death stare right now, but oh my god, you guys. Coming from someone that had to wait at least 2 weeks every time they ordered a book, the first year of uni in the UK was miraculous, and I got a lot of books bought. These books were my faithful companions during my first year of university. This is a period that, you might agree with me, oftentimes is characterized by feelings of loneliness, and of course, being the book nerd that I am, what I took refuge in were these books. I cannot wait to rediscover some of these books, and I cannot wait for you guys to see them. So without further ado, let's get this box open, shall we, folks? I do remember this bag, and I remember I put in the books that I did not want to get spoiled. So let's see what is in here. First book I have here is Fury Born by Clare. This is a book I didn't finish. I really just couldn't get into the story. Maybe I will if I ever decide to pick it up again. If you've read this and you liked it, please let me know so that I have the incentive to actually pick it up. The second book that I have here is the Bane Chronicles, all wrapped in bubble wrap because I don't want it to get ruined. I just realized this is very unproductive because I will be having to pack these books again when I go back to the city in which I am studying. The Bane Chronicles by Cassandra, Clare, Sarah, Rees, Brennan, and Maureen Johnson. I have read all of them. What I really like about these books is how beautiful they are physically. They are not my favorite thing in the planet. Magnus Bane is, though. The Bane Chronicles is a collection of short stories set in the Shadowhunter series following one of its central, pivotal, the best character in this universe, let's be honest, Magnus Bane. He is an immortal warlock that appears in every single one of the Shadowhunters books. Cassandra, Clare, and the rest of the authors use these short stories to kind of interweave the stories together for you to get some nice background tidbit Easter eggs. So that's that. And the next one, of course, would be Clockwork Princess by Cassandra, Clare. This is the third book in the Infernal Devices series, and I kid you not, I don't think I have ever cried as much as I did when I read the ending of this book. I was a downright mess. I spent the whole day tearing up because of what Cassandra Clare did. It really painted Cassandra Clare in a whole new light for me. I was very surprised by how emotional I got at this book because, again, this is my favorite book series in the world, far from it, but you do get very attached. And if you saw my previous video, then you know that I have also ordered Clockwork Prince. So this is the second and the third book in the trilogy, and look at how beautiful they stand next to each other. These are the Shadowhunter books that I have with me. The next book I have here is the Six of Crows Collector's Edition, y'all. I even wrapped this in bubble wrap because I didn't want anything happening to the perfection that is this book. I mean, look at this. It is gorgeous, it is flawless, it is brilliant, show-stopping, phenomenal. In case you don't know, Six of Crows is the best thing ever written. It is young adult fiction at its finest. It is the reigning queen, king, divine entity of young adult fiction. You will not see people in this community speak ill of these books because you can't. They are just so good. Six of Crows is pretty much a magical heist novel in which 6 outcasts are hired to break into this heavily guarded prison because of reasons and problems in this world that are really, really carefully thought out. Look at how beautiful the sequel is because, oh my god, you guys, like, I am dying. It was recently announced that she's gonna make these for the Grisha trilogy as well, and oh my god, you guys, my wallet is crying. I could not recommend the Six of Crows duology enough. Just drop everything you're doing and go read them right now. They seriously have the power to turn anyone into a reader. It's good, we good. My book! books. The first one I have here, China Rich Girlfriend by Kevin Kwan, the second book in the Crazy Rich Asians trilogy, which I have not read. I love that I packed up all of my books just because I didn't want them to get ruined. I mean, the dedication of past me truly astounds me. I don't know if I would have had the patience in this day and age. Oh my god. Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. This is one of my favorite books ever. It is amazing. It's honestly right up there on par with Six of Crows for me. It is an amazingly developed fantasy world. The love story in this book is absolutely enchanting and it's amazing, and I have to stop talking about it because I have a million other books to show. Just read it, folks. It is so good. Oh, this is What If It's Us by Adam Silvera and Becky Albatrelli. I actually bought this just in time for their book signing in Manchester. I got it signed, y'all. I was in the front row of this event. I got to tell Adam Silvera how more happy than not changed my perspective on so many things. And even though this book wasn't mind-blowing or amazing or anything, it will always be attached to that memory of going to meet Adam and Becky. The rest of the Crazy Rich Asians trilogy, Crazy Rich Asians the first one, and Rich People Problems the third one. I read the first one. I don't know when I'll be able to get to the second one. Oh my god, I have a feeling I know what is in this one because only one book would warrant a box this big. And of course, it's The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. This was my favorite read of 2019. It is a piece of fiction that is so well developed and that I could talk about for so many hours that I'm not going to. I'm just going to say that this book is phenomenal. I talk a little bit about why I find it so amazing in my favorite books of 2019 video. So if you want to know, please go check that out. I don't have time, but oh my god, you guys, this book. We have a box within a box. We have Caraval by Stephanie Garber, and I did read this. It was very enjoyable. I am now at an age where I read a book and I think if I had read this when I was younger, this would be the best thing in the planet, but now it's not. I also have my Kazuo Ishiguro books here. I have read all of them. I think that Never Let Me Go is one of the greatest things ever written. It is something that you have to go into without knowing anything. So if this cover is the fact that he won the Nobel for Literature, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sorry if I'm getting that wrong. If that is enough for you to pick up a book, please pick up Never Let Me Go. And if you enjoy the storytelling and the way that this man crafts the story, I do recommend The Remains of the Day, which is one of his most famous works. Then we have a book called Loaded, which was my first ever 2-star read. I did not like it. I don't think it was for me at the time that I read it. It's about a Greek-American boy and him coming to terms with his sexuality, about the gay scene in the 80s and how hopeless it all was. I also have The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which I read and thoroughly enjoyed. I didn't watch the movie. I know that this book and this story has a huge cult following. It wasn't anything that I feel any kind of obligation to continue. The Fated Muse of Nightmares. This was even better than Strange the Dreamer, if you can believe it. I've said what I said. Go read them. They are amazing. The world and the story and the characters, it's all there. I recommend it to the moon and back. And then we have Circe. This is another book that I only have amazing, great, fantastic, spectacular, show-stopping things to say. I read The Song of Achilles summer 2016. I thought that I had only enjoyed it because it was a gay love story, and I would not enjoy Circe as much because it didn't center around two men falling in love, and I was wrong. If I were to search deep within myself, I enjoyed Circe better than I did The Song of Achilles. Look at how beautiful, you guys. Madeline Miller transforms this character that is a villain in so many popular stories and makes her into the hero, makes her into a human being behind which you can understand every single one of her actions. It is amazing, empowering, beautifully written, because if you can say one thing about Madeline Miller's writing is that it is poetic, flowing. All the good things about this book, guys. Oh my god, this is heavy, y'all. What is in here? Oh, these are my graphic novel slash manga. The first volume of the Eternal Edition of Sailor Moon, which I did read. It was the first time that I had ever familiarized myself with the Sailor Moon story, and y'all, I definitely get the hype. And then I have the first and second volume of Fence by C.S. Pacat and illustrated by Johanna the Mad. As you can tell by the cover, this is a fencing graphic novel about a boy that joins a fencing club, and it's adorable and it's very gay. The Heart's Invisible Furies by John Boyne. This is another one, y'all. This is another book that completely changed my outlook on life. This is about a gay man growing up in Ireland. It is absolutely raw, and it is his whole life. You get to see the story of his mom before she gives birth, and you go right up until he dies of old age, which isn't a spoiler since I just told you it was his whole life. It is one of the best things I have ever read, and I think it's one of the best books that has ever been written. And the last two books that were in this box were Tin Man by Sarah Winman. I did read this book, but I read this book around the same time I read the Gustav Sonata, and they merged into my head. I literally cannot tell you which is which. Lastly, Tiger by Leigh Reed Banks. This was a nostalgia vibe because this is one of the first books that I read that really made me think that books were amazing and fantastic, and it was like £3, y'all. If you remember the movie Two Brothers, which was about two tigers as well, it was pretty much this but in ancient Rome. It's really good, and it really makes you question the way we treat and should treat animals. And then we have the last box within the box. We have Heartless by Marissa Meyer, the absolutely gorgeous American hardcover. By gorgeous, I do mean absolutely stunning. This is a retelling of the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland, and Marissa Meyer, of course, of the Lunar Chronicles fame, which are some of the most fun, most entertaining, and most cleverly written young adult books and fairy tale retellings out there. Unfortunately, I didn't think too highly of Heartless. It was fun, but for me, it wasn't on the same level as the Lunar Chronicles. But yeah, that's on Heartless. Then we have King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. This is the first book in the latest duology in the Grishaverse, and it centers on arguably one of the best fictional characters that has ever been out there, Mr. Nikolai Lantsov. This book is also absolutely gorgeous. These hardcovers are stepping up their game, y'all. The second book was just announced, Rule of Wolves. That's what it's called. I cannot wait. It comes out March next year. And then the last two books in the box are Wicked King by Holly Black, second book in the Folk of the Air trilogy, which was really good. The way she incorporated the fact that fairies can't lie into all this scheming and intrigue and all this complexity that just haunts the court in the fairylands. The main relationship in these books, however, has been labeled by many as toxic, so I also want you guys to have that in mind before you jump in. I definitely see where people are coming from saying that it's toxic. It's problematic, y'all. And Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. My overwhelming love for Strange the Dreamer is to blame for me buying the first book in her Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy, if that is what it's called. I read it, I enjoyed it. I found that there were very similar themes that she explores in both this one and Strange the Dreamer, and I should have bought the whole trilogy then and just read it, but I didn't, and so I don't really remember much of this book at all. This is a paranormal fantasy about a girl who has blue hair. That's all you need to know. I realized I didn't give you a synopsis for most of them, and I'm sorry, but the thing is, this video is already way too long as it is. Those are actually all of the books that were inside the box labeled books. If you have any questions or are somewhat curious about any of the books that I showed you here today, please drop your questions down below, and I will definitely get to them and answer to the best of my abilities. I feel like I need to do a recommendations video because at this point there are just so many books that I feel should be out there and read by everyone. So that is it for this re-unboxing video thing. I really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again sometime very soon. Goodbye!